I'm starting to collect up a few of these now that are empty because I'm going through big wipes quite quickly because I use them in both of my craft rooms. So I want to show you some simple upcycling of these. And one of the easiest ones, I think, has got to be what I'm already using it for. My friend Carolyn told me about this and it works a treat. So you've got that type of top on it, and when you doing vinyl and you're weeding vinyl and you want to clean your tip, all you've got to do is put it and line it, and through there it takes it off and it all goes into the bottom there. And then when it's filled, you can either empty it or put it all in the recycling, because these are recyclable. So that's the first one, really simple to get it out the way. Now the other thing is I need a bin on my desk because I've got nowhere to put little bits of rubbish and things like that. So what I want to do is make a little bin out of this. So I'm going to take off the label, and these labels fortunately come off quite easily, like that. And now I'm going to decide at what height I want my bin. I don't want it too high because I don't want to keep knocking it over, which is what I will do if I have it too high. So I'd like it to be about there. That'll be the depth of the little bin that I'm going to be using, and all I need to do now is cut this down into the size. I'm going to take a knife here and it will cut fairly easily. Just be careful. Okay, and I'm going to cut it all the way around. Well, now I've got that cut down to the size that I want, I'm going to cover it. You don't have to, you can just leave it like that and use it, but of course I want to cover it. So I'm going to use sequins and some twine because I want it to have a little bit of sparkle to it as well, as you know. So I'm going to pimp it up using that, and all I'm going to do is put some hot glue on like this, and then wrap it round using these sequins. I'm using my cordless hot glue gun because it's so much easier than using one with a cord on. So I'm going to go all the way around that for a little way, and then I'm going to add some of this. I'll show you what it looks like finished. Well, that didn't take long to make, and now I've got something that I can put bits and pieces of rubbish and things in on my desk, and I like the colour of the yellow inside this, and it's a bit sparkly and a bit fun. So next thing I'm going to do is use this part of the pot, and now all I'm going to do, take it off all the way around, and then I want it quite flat. So I've cut myself out a little template now of a flower, and all I'm going to do is with a permanent marker, I will remove that permanent marker once I've cut it out, just using a bit of 99% alcohol. And I'm going to fit as many of these on this piece of plastic as I can. I've drawn all around those now. All I need to do is cut them out, and that shouldn't take me too many seconds. Then they'll cut out really easily using a pair of scissors. So I've cut my flowers out, and they're easy to clean up. Like I said, all I need to do is get a bit of paper towel, tiny bit of alcohol, and then they will clean up perfectly, look, like that. So they're now nice and clean. Now all I need to do is shape them up, and I've got my heat gun on here that's been running, and I'm going to, on one side of this packaging, there is like a texture, and I want that on the outside, so the smooth on the inside. So all I'm going to do is heat these up, and then once they're warm, I can bend them round to give them a bit of shape, and then leave that in its shape once it's bent round, and they shape really easily. And then once they're cooled, they will stay in that shape. There we go, look, so that's all nicely in that shape. But I want to soften off these petals, so what I'm going to do is heat each one of the petals up individually, and then I can either turn over the ends like this or push them in so they've got a bit more shape to them, like that. So they're more shaped like that, going all the way around. And then I'll show you how I'm going to add some stems. Now I've got those all into shape, what I'm going to do is punch a couple of holes in the middle here, just using a little nail like that. And I want them quite close together, so they're either side of the middle. And now what I'm going to do is I've got some stiff wire here, and I want it to be the length of the stem that I want. I don't want them too long, so that should be enough for me. Cut that in half, so I've got it joined at the middle there. And what I'm going to do is thread one of these black beads here right the way through to the middle section of that, and then bring them together, and then thread these bits through those two holes that I've just made. Pull that down, and that then becomes the center of that flower. And then taking a pair of, well, you can do this with your hands if you wanted to. I'm going to do it with my fingers. All I'm going to do is twist that wire all the way down to the bottom like that. And then I can leave that until I've done the other ones, and then I can put them together, or you can do them as individual stems. And then what I'm going to do is, if you've got washi tape the right colour, you can use washi tape, but if you haven't, then all I'm going to be doing is using some masking tape here, and I'm going to go over that stem like this with the masking tape and just twist it all the way on until I get to the top. So now I've got that to almost the top. I can just scroll that through my hands like that, making sure that tape is nicely pushed down. And finish off that top bit. And there we go, we've got a stem. And now all I need to do is paint that green. And I'm just using acrylic paint for this. And the great thing about having the wire in the middle is you can bend these to whatever shape that you want to have them. So while those flower stems are drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another pot, but this time with a lid on. And I'm going to cut it around this edge here, because that way I can keep it the right height. Now the pot isn't going to be as tall as this. And now all I've got to do is go around this and neaten it up a little bit, where I weren't as neat as I could have been from the cutting the pot. And now decide how tall I want the pot. Actually, I think I'm going to have it the same height as this one. And I'll make some more flowers out of this top bit, so I'm not too worried about using that up. Okay, so that's the bottom bit of my pot. And I've got a bit of nice thick cardboard here, this corrugated cardboard. So I need to have that cut out, but I want that the same size of this, and you'll see why in a second. So all I'm going to do is draw around that, and then I can cut that out as well with my blade, trying to keep it as circular as possible. So I'll probably go through this several times, but lightly each time, so I don't go off at an angle or make one of the edges square, because that's what the sort of thing I normally do when I make a circle, or when I have to cut a circle out. I could do with a circle cutter, really. The cut circle's nice and easy. So I've cut my circle out now, and that's going to work really well as the top for that. And all I've got here is a strip which is the same circumference as this cardboard here. And I'm going to glue using my hot glue gun all the way around this edge like that to make the top. You could use white glue for this if you wanted to. So that lid fits on there really well now. Nice and smooth and tight enough. Look, it won't fall off. So I'm going to paint these, but before I paint this, because it's plastic, I want to give it a prime with this plastic primer. I use this ever so lot. I use it on glass as well, works really, really well. And then it will give it a nice base to be able to paint onto. I'll do that outside because I don't want to be breathing that in. But that's all dried now with its primer, and what I'm going to do is give it a coat and the lid a coat of the matte black spray. Now, if you haven't got the spray, you can use acrylic paints for this, because I've got a decoration plan in mind for this. And again, I'm going to do this outside. Well, this is all nice and dry now, and the lid fits on there really well. What I'm going to do is decorate it using a combination of my chrome markers and some acrylic markers, these. And all I'm going to be doing is putting some leaves on it. Firstly, what I am going to do is go around these two bits with my gold chrome marker, just really to highlight those. And then I'm also going to go around the edge of the lid. And then I'm going to draw on just some simple leaf shapes. And that's why I decided to go for black, because I thought the contrast on the gold and the black would look excellent. But I'm not just going to put these in like this. I am going to do something else with them as well. So let that dry, and then I'll show you what else I'm going to do. So now this is dry, what I'm going to do is I've got my acrylic marker, and all I'm going to do is go inside where the gold is with my acrylic marker, and then I'm going to draw in a pattern like that. And I'm going to go all the way around, doing the same thing on the lid and on here. And then where I've put these little bits in, I'm going to pop one or two flowers, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that as well. So I've finished all those blue flowers, and what I'm going to do is around here is just add on some little flowers like this. Really simple to do, but going all the way around where I think that they should go. And then it will be finished. This is all finished now, and we've got 4 great upcycles from those plastic pots. I really like that decoration on there. I think it finishes it off nice. I've not painted the inside, but you could, or you could even put some material in there. I like to know what it was made from, but such a simple design. And now I've got a little box to put trinkets in. The bin worked out really well. That's going on my desk now. And as I said, I use this all the time. It's easy to empty, or you can just throw the whole thing out, but I wouldn't, because I would re-upcycle it. I made some more flowers from the extras from that, and using one of these acrylic pens, which are a lot cheaper than Posca pens, I just put some bits in the middle, and I've popped it in the vase that I also made upcycling a glass jar. And if you want to know how I did that, then I'll link that video at the end, as well as the video on the other flowers. Hope you've enjoyed this. Really useful, simple, easy to do upgrades and upcycles. I love upcycling, really gives me a lot of pleasure. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.